Yo, it's Joe Master Lee.
And Lulu.
All right, we are continuing our weight loss journey here with Larry, or at least his weight loss journey. My evaluation of whether or not it's worth going through such weight loss transformation. I know I said I would start losing weight this year, but let's just say there's still too many chips
and chocolates.
And chocolates around our house that I don't want to throw away. That's a big part of my problem. I just don't like to throw stuff away.
And we just love to eat. That's all.
Yeah.
Number one top priority.
All right, so we're talking with Big Larry here, who just shared with us in a previous episode his childhood, what it was like growing up as a husky. Actually, husky might even have been an understatement. I mean, you were clinically defined as obese at one point, huh?
Oh, I was morbidly obese. Yeah, I was like top tier.
Is morbidly actually a clinical definition?
I'm pretty sure it is now. Like if you talk to those I don't know if you heard of Hayes, the people healthy at every size people, they don't want it to be, but it is.
Okay, so you were husky since 8, but by college years you were.
I was
at
definitely
that point,
yeah. I was into the morbid obesity.
Morbidly obese, reaching up to almost 500 pounds. And I'm going to show you guys a picture here because like this before and after gives you an example of what he was like and what he is now. And it's shocking.
It's shocking. You'll be amazed.
I can't remember what the BMI number is, but there's a number, and once you reach that number, you're like, yeah. It just puts plus after that. Like it's like we're not even gonna give you a BMI number anymore, and I was on that way.
Gotcha.
I think it just kind of breaks once you get past a couple hundred pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember. There's like it's like a. I don't even want to say the number is, but it's like there's like a little like 21, 22, 24, 29, like 29 plus or something like that. And like it's like, yeah, you're just beyond now. So you're just morbidly obese, and if you don't turn things around, you're gonna be dead 40.
We need to talk about this this transformation, right? Because you were at a point where you were, I mean, at 500 pounds, you really can't go anywhere anymore, right?
No, I will say I was blessed with height, so that spread the weight out a little bit. And I was probably, I had a horrible back and I had bad ankles, but I was probably one good injury away from like, scooter land. If I really think about it, I wasn't there, but I mean.
So you weren't there yet on scooter land, or were you just stuck on the couch? Like, you ever like seeing those videos where people had to be like hauled out by a crane from the house?
Oh,
I mean, it's almost a surreal kind of imagery, but you were still mobile.
I was still mobile. Yeah. I mean, I was very, and people, I think some people were surprised when I would say how heavy I was, just because again, I was blessed to be tall, spread the weight out, and I was surprisingly mobile for my size. I have some friends of mine who were also that size, who just weren't as tall as me. You can see it much more on them because they just don't have the height to. The height was a blessing and a curse. Like I could hide it a little better, but at the same time, it's still there. I'm still that big. I'm still that heavy, and my joints are still
like
suffering.
6'5", right?
Yeah, 6'5".
You're telling me you had friends who were bigger than you?
Oh yeah, I have a few friends like that.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
All right, so you were clearly in a scenario where you were, I guess, stuck, or maybe like you were just kind of accepting like this is the way I'm going to be, even if like the friends that you made, the people you hung out with. So there must have been some turning point for you that made you go, I'm going to change this all around, because it was not just a gradual process where you lost how much weight now total?
At the total weight loss, I was 4. I was 480 and I got down to 198 from 480.
So almost 200 almost 300 pounds?
Almost, yeah.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, really. 280 pounds, basically.
280 pounds. Oh my God, dude, that's literally 3 of you.
Within less than a year?
How fast did
it was
you do
just over a year, about a year and a half. I started in September. September of 8. Was it 18? No. September of 17. And by 2019, that May, I was there.
Less than 2 years ago, Ludo.
Yeah.
You would not even have recognized him walking down the street.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
mean,
have-
if let's put it this way, if
yeah.
this current Larry walked behind the big Larry, you wouldn't even see.
You wouldn't even
current
see it.
Larry.
No, I'm a little taller now though. Like as weird as that is, I'm 6'5", but when I was at that weight, I was like 6'4" at the end of the day because I just like.
No way! You're telling me that weight actually pulled your height down. It compressed your back.
I get in the car. I would get when I was that
me.
size.
Well, actually, that makes sense. At 500 pounds, like yeah.
Yeah, when I get in the car in the morning, I had to adjust my mirrors because I was taller. By the end of the day, I was shorter. I had to put the mirror down. No joke.
And these are the kind of things that you don't even like think about, like when
like
people that big go through.
Yeah, I had horrible posture because of it. Bad back, bad shoulders, I had horrible ankles. I used to roll my
Are
ankles
you experiencing
monthly.
it now? Like your back pain, your
Back
knee?
pain's
but not-
almost non-existent now. My ankles, I haven't rolled my
Wow,
ankles
very
since
good.
I started losing weight. I used to roll them monthly. I used to always be like, one ankle was always a mess and swollen and bad, and now they're
So
fine.
it was smart of you, if anything, to be able to lose it at this age because you could still. I mean, this is almost the resilience of the human body. Like you could still bounce back.
Yeah, you can.
Like it was not permanent damage that was done from having carried like 300 extra pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine carrying like?
Now
I
I
don't
will
think
say
I could
though,
walk downstairs like doing
Oh,
that.
I used to be afraid of stairs, honestly. Not going up. I didn't have a problem going. It was going down. I was always afraid of going downstairs because I used to roll my. I said I roll my ankles, and so then the muscles and tendons get tight, so I'd kind of pigeon-toed because of it.
Right.
And then when I would go down a step, my foot would want to roll. So I'd really have to be
Woo.
careful walking downstairs. Like I'm not going to roll because if I roll going down the stairs, that's a heck of a tumble when you're that size. I'd
Yeah,
balance
no
all the way
kidding.
down, but that's a lot of weight coming down on top of you.
What is it, Larry?
Tell us.
You got to tell us.
What
What
is-
is this big secret? What is the impetus? First
All
of all,
right.
I guess what was the before you get the
The
secret, I
turning
want to know what
point.
was a turning point in
All
your
right.
head that made you go like, I need to do this first, because at that point you didn't even know what you needed to do, right?
So like every person who needs to lose weight, we all of us, I'm gonna say us, all of us fat people out there, we talk a big game. I need to do this weekend. On Monday, I'm starting this thing. We all do it, and whether we start it or not, we never stick to it. Whatever. But I was always doing that, and you get with other people in similar situations. You all talk about what should we do. What you always want to find a buddy to do it with you, but no one ever does because we're all there's a reason why we've all been like this for 20 years or whatever. And so that's what I would do. And I would start a diet, not do it. Start a diet, not do it. And fall apart. Whatever. However it works. And then I would say this is what, honestly, one of the things that saved my life, I'm going to say saving my life because I don't know where I would be at right now. I'd be 500 pounds plus, was YouTube. I decided I wanted to do YouTube. So I was getting together with I was getting together with a buddy and I was going to do some kind of podcast or some kind of channel. I wanted to talk, nerd stuff, gaming, movies, all that kind of stuff, and I try to get the group of friends together. Let's start doing this something because YouTube's taking off, and we got to get on this train while we can. We didn't quite get on in time, but was getting ready to start that, and I found a YouTube group that met here in town. I live in Vegas, met here in town, and started going to that. And of course, one of the things when you're my size is I wasn't horrified of being on camera, but I didn't really want to be on camera, so I would go to this group and meet up with people and always trying to find new information, new things. And I kind of started reaching out just because I wanted to do YouTube. As weird as that is, that forced me out of my shell a little bit.
Wow.
And I met a couple guys. I met a guy who was an Adonis. His name's Brendan. He's an awesome guy. This dude used to work for Thunder Down Under. So he's an Aussie.
Oh, so he must be buff.
He is a beautiful man. I'm not going to lie. And but he was doing a thing, and he was talking about it with another guy who I met for the first time at this YouTube meetup, and they were talking about keto and intermittent fasting. Now I'd heard of both. I listened to Joe Rogan. If anyone out there listens to Joe Rogan, you've heard of keto, you've heard of intermittent fasting, and so I'd heard of them, but I hadn't I always saw just buff dudes like this Brendan guy talking about it and how great it is. Like, well, yeah, of course it's great because it's easy for you. Look at you, you're already there. But this other guy he was talking to, his name was Dan. And Dan had been about the same weight I was. But when I met him in that day, he was only about 240 pounds. So he went from 500 to 240 and it took him about a year and a half.
Whoa.
So I was like, whoa, Dan, is this legit? And he showed me his picture and he says, here's what you got to do. And then the other guy, Brendan's like, he's a cool guy. And he's like, you need any help, call me, let me know. But he said, this is the thing right here. He said, if you're going to do it, do it. And if you need any help, call me, text me, message me, whatever, and I'll help you. But if you're not going to do it, don't waste my time and don't waste yours.
There you go. He's a good trainer.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Was he a trainer?
Well, I know he's done it before in the past. He's been a trainer in the past. At the time, he was not. That's what he said to me, and it lit a fire under me. It was like that weekend. I was actually going out of town to visit my grandmother, and I was like, you know what? When I get back, like next week, we're going to meet. I'm starting this week, and when we go back, I'm going to tell him, I'm going to show him, hey, I did it for a week, and I did it and that's my whole motivation. It wasn't like and in that moment at least, it wasn't necessarily to lose weight. It was to prove to him that I could at least do a week of to And that's what I did.
His attack, his approach to you, the words that he used was very, how did it say? It stick to you.
It stuck,
pretty
it
much.
stuck with me. Yeah. He didn't insult me. He just basically said, "I'll help you, but you have to do it." He challenged me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that challenged lit a little fire in me, and I started doing it. So, and if for those who don't know, there's a keto or ketogenic diet, and then intermittent fasting. Those are the two things that I did consistently for the year and a half to lose all the weight, and they work in tandem very well together. If you don't know, ketogenic diet is when you cut out sugar and carbohydrates from your diet. You want to rely completely on fat, the fat in your foods to burn for energy, and then when that food is used up, it's easier for your body to transition to burning its own fat that it has in reserve. So you don't have to worry about the insulin crash afterwards like you do with sugar and carbohydrates.
Right.
That's the ticket with keto. And then intermittent fasting is extended periods of fasting. I would do an 18-8 or 16-8 or an 18-6, depending how I was feeling, where I would have a window of 8 hours or 6 hours to eat in, and then the other time I wasn't eating. I was on a strict fast, water only.
Yeah, I've done
so
that.
So that kind of happened like all in one day for
it
you,
all
right?
happened.
Which is kind of really unusual. I mean, that's a crazy kind of story.
It was basically
right?
the week before the anniversary of 9/11, and then that next weekend I was like, hey, I did it for a week. I'm going to keep doing it.
So Brandon was the very first person that talked to you that way.
Yeah, honestly, he's probably the first one. He didn't insult me because I definitely had that, and he didn't.
No. Something doesn't jive here, right? Because I can't imagine you going through that long in life. Because but what age did you start to go on a diet here? About 25 or 6 years old,
when I first started trying dieting,
or just like when you met with this dude?
Oh, this dude. No, this was what, like just over. I was
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago, 33.
33. Okay, so you've gone through your entire adult life, never meeting one person who would say, like, I'm willing to help you lose weight. I'm there for you. Like,
I had that.
I find that hard to believe.
No. I had that. It's hard to explain. I think it was the don't waste my time and don't waste yours.
Yeah, he said that. He said that.
I say that to you all the
time. Don't waste my time.
And it's never inspired you, all right?
Maybe
because here's the thing, right? Your story is similar to his in that scenario,
right?
Because you were like, I want to do OnlyFans, right? Suddenly you're out to me like, I'm like, what? Like wearing lingerie Instagram is enough? You got to take more of your clothes off. I'm like, all right, if you want to do it, I'll support you on it. And that was the first time I ever seen you stick to your own diet, and you lost weight, you got in shape, you're the best shape ever,
right?
And I don't know what it is. It's like suddenly if you want to put yourself out there, whether on YouTube or on OnlyFans, this sort of like, I need to look good, suddenly like kicks, I don't know what it is. Like it kicks in. Like, I guess it does matter then of what people think of you. Like people like say that all the time.
See,
like,
for Larry, it's YouTube. For me, it's the OnlyFans. So,
but we hear so much in society, like it doesn't matter what other people say. You got to do it for yourself.
It's not true.
Really, I guess it isn't true after all. It really is like a big part of whether or not you decide to go for it or not.
When I was at my heaviest, I used to say things like I might be fat, but I'll die happy, or just weird little stupid stuff like that. but like,
what the?
It's like
that's so true though. A lot of people are like that.
Like you're defeated to that point. You're like, fuck it, I'll just die.
But I'll die happy because I'm eating what I want to eat.
Look at a chicken.
Yeah.
What?
I met someone like that too. I'm like, you don't eat chips? Oh my god, you must be sad. Your life sucks. Oh my god.
Yeah, and so
I can't believe it.
You tell yourself but the thing is, you're telling yourself a lie, and you're telling everyone else you tell that saying to. You're lying. It's not true. You're not happy. Like that. I said earlier. There's a healthy at Healthy at Every Size, I think it's called. Haze.
Yeah, that
You may or not heard. There was a girl who was on the cover of Cosmo, and she's like 400 pounds and 5 foot nothing. And they made a big deal about it because this is an empowerment thing. And then a lot of people were upset about it. And I'm on the side of upset of it. I think it was heavy at the time when I saw it, but it's like, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. You know,
that is not healthy to put it to other mind. Yeah.
And there's this weird thing where we kind of like, we lie to ourselves, I guess is what it is. You kind of like, oh, people should just love you for who you are. And that's true, but everyone still wants to look good.
This is an interesting phenomenon here that you're covering. And I think this is, in many ways, I think it's actually making our obesity pandemic, and I'm going to call it that.
It is.
At this point, even worse, right? Because we want people to accept us for who we are. There's confidence in that, right? Confidence comes from, it doesn't matter smart, dumb, handicapped or not, what ethnicity you are, doesn't matter. Like, believing in yourself makes a huge difference. But the reality is we still take so many cues from society, and we want to feel like we're part of it. We want to feel accepted from that.
Yes.
And there is nothing wrong with that inherently. Right? I mean, maybe there's something's wrong with, way everything's photoshopped. There's those unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, unrealistic. But the other side of that is when someone is healthy and fit, that's a realistic expectation because that's that person.
Is.
You know?
It is. And I think once you get a point when you are obese, especially you, morbidly
obese.
Like you cannot just sit there and say, like, I can accept this about myself. Like, this is the way life is. When in your mind, like, there is something
wrong,
better.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I basically just kind of did it on my own. Like, I meal prepped for a bit at first. Like, that's an important part of it, is learning how to read labels, how to cook proportionate sizes, like what to cook, how to cook it, cutting out anything that's not real.
Wow.
So you get rid of all the processed sugars and all the soda and all that stuff.
So you research all this.
Yeah, you got to do the research. That's a big part of it. And anyone out there, you want to do research on keto and intermittent fasting, just Google it. It's all there. There really is no secret. Like, it's like the panda movie, like Kung Fu Panda. The secret is there is no secret. It's all right there in front of you. In fact, I'll even say it. Keto and intermittent fasting worked for me, but it's not the magic bullet. Every diet works. Whatever diet you choose, it will work as long as you stick to it. That's the part. So the big part of it is just getting your mind in the right place. Whether it's, for some people that might take therapy, for some people that's going to take a support group, for some people it's going to take writing it down and having goals. And for me, it was like one guy lighting a fire underneath me, and then I started seeing results, and I stuck with it. I put my nose to the grindstone and I just kept pushing through. I learned to embrace the suck when my stomach was rumbling because I wanted to eat something, or I had that, like, I was mouth hungry, but not truly hungry. I was able to push past it, learn what real hunger was, what real satisfaction from food is. You have to teach yourself that.
Did you do any meditation to do that? Because that's really hard.
Yeah, how do you block that sensation
Yeah,
that's literally in your mind every 2 seconds?
Seriously?
I turned it into a game. This is going to sound crazy. This will definitely not work for everybody.
You're a gaming nerd, so maybe this
is
exactly
me, it
worked.
What it is. So here we go. My game thing was, I when I was doing the diet, I'd still cook for other people who weren't doing the diet. So I would make their dinner, even if I wasn't eating. If that was in my fasting period, I'm not eating. So I would cook dinner for them and not even taste it while I was cooking it. I would just cook it. Here you go. And then I would cook things that I couldn't eat.
What's the game here? That just sounds like torture. You haven't explained
that is
the game to me.
I'm a masochist. No. So the game for me was like...
that's the reality. No. The truth is you like the pain. You like getting whipped.
I enjoy it.
You like the nipple clamps.
No, it was... for me, the game was how far I could push myself. Honestly.
Wow.
I mean, you have no...
But that is... No.
That really is my game.
Chefs are like that, though. Chefs are... They like to cook, but
most chefs are fat.
Not all of them.
Throw food.
Not all. They like to cook, but they have
they're
testers.
smoking crack or cocaine. It's like Anthony Bourdain. He was on a lot of drugs.
Oh, God.
All right, no, look, I'm going to get back to this, man, all right? Because you got pleasure out of pain. Isn't that the definition of someone who likes to be spanked?
That was a little bit of hyperbole.
No. I mean, let's dig into this, right? Because most people can't lose weight because the pain, the pleasure comes from the next chip you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. So there's pleasure in that. So you had to have replaced the pleasure. You cannot go through the rest of your life constantly thinking about the pain. That's my point, right? Like, I can't get past the hunger because it's pain.
Maybe he likes it when people see, the reaction from other people that they love the food that he cooked.
Yeah, no, that was definitely part of it. Yeah, seeing them enjoy it, that's part of it.
Yeah,
but you could do that while eating it too, though.
Yeah, well, here's the difference, right? Okay, look at this. Like this morning, I went to the gym and I woke up. I had to get up really early. I go to the gym when there's nobody else there because of COVID, so I try to go at like 3:00 in the morning. So I get up at 3:00 in the morning. And I get all my gear on, ready to go. I'm like, it's kind of cold, and I don't want to go, right? But I go, and when I go to the gym and I get done, I've never been when I'm leaving the gym going, man, I wish I hadn't done that. I always feel great. I'm like, I'm so glad I went. When you eat food when you eat junk food or something, you do it, and you're like, man, I really wish I hadn't done that. You always feel that way afterwards.
It's not the same, though, my man. It's not the same, right? Because when you go to the gym, you come out afterwards, you get the high of exercise, right? That's why people it's called like runner's high.
Well, there's
not
a fasting
get a runner's high from
cooking.
There's a fasting high. Get out of here.
There's definitely, there's a point where you don't even care anymore. It's legit.
That's not a high. It's just you forgot about it.
No. It's like,
where's the pleasure from feeling hunger? I'm pretty sure if you ask anyone starving in a third world country,
there might be true. That might be true,
there really
John.
Is. There's a point. There's a point. It's like a mental clarity you reach. There's a comedian who talked about it once, but it's like colors get brighter. Your sense of smell is insane. I think it's your brain's looking for food. You know what I mean?
What?
It's like you're being cleansed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me then that the trick to not eating, because when you're hungry, you can't think about anything else. It isn't to learn to adjust your mind to think like, I like the pain of it. It's that on the other side of the pain, there is a reward. Not just I look thinner, because that's a long ways out.
Yeah,
you have to get something more immediate. There's a reward that has to happen for you to stick to it. You're saying that there is some sort of pleasurable experience that you feel after a fast.
I feel like there was. I think it's similar to like what happens to a marathon runner, right? There's a certain point where they're running and their whole body just wants to give up, and they're every joint, every muscle, everything is just incredible. Like I'm talking about like these Iron Man guys,
Right,
those crazy guys. And they kind of reach a point. It's almost like a kind of slight nirvana where your brain just gets into a zone and they just go. And it's like I think that for me that's what happened with fasting sometimes. Like if I would do occasionally. I would do like a month of straight of keto with intermittent fasting, which is I would do 18-hour fast with 6-hour windows of eating time. Try to get my calories in at that point with a clean keto diet, and then I would hit end of that month and go, okay, I'm going to push for a 3 or 4 or 5 day fast. This wasn't about losing weight. This was about like will.
When you say
mentality.
3 or 4 or 5 day fast, you don't eat food for 3 to 5 days?
Yeah, the longest I went in one of those was I did a 10-day.
You did a 10-day? You didn't eat anything?
Nope, 10 days, just water.
Wow.
Say what?
That's not
that can't be healthy.
No, that's not for weight loss. That's for I guess like we were talking about earlier,
Did you
meditation.
accidentally
Yeah, it's like cleansing. I've seen one of that. The
like a cleanse.
Filipino YouTuber.
Oh, that's
yeah,
like a cleanse.
It's like a cleanse.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of
Because
thing.
I don't want to advocate that to people.
No.
No, it's like a cleanse. Yeah.
It's like a cleanse, and for me, it wasn't just about like the body cleanse. It was like a mental, spiritual kind of cleanse thing. It put me in a zone. And I said, like you hit honestly, day one, it's just when you're already intermittent fasting, day one's easy. Day 2, you start to feel it. Day 3, you're really hungry. Then you hit like day 4, and again, that little trigger in your brain goes click, and you just it doesn't bother you as much. And like I said, like colors, like the outside world gets brighter. Colors are brighter. You can smell everything. No joke. Like someone across the street's cooking toast.
Yeah,
in the morning,
I'm pretty sure you can smell every hot dog or burger being cooked from a mile away.
No joke. I'm like driving on the freeway. I'm like, ooh. It's like I smell like KFC, and like there's no KFC.
KFC from 4 miles away.
Yeah, 2 exits away. There's the KFC Larry could smell. So it's a legit thing. I think what it is, honestly, is just your body like looking for food. But you kind of hit that mental clarity, and then the upside of that is when you do finally eat, it's like so much more rewarding and satisfying.
And I think you're more mindful of your food.
Yes.
That way, right?
You learn how to shop for good food, how to cook it right, cook it well, how to.
Wow.
I think one of the biggest
have to
problems.
do that, John.
One of the biggest problems with being an American is we have excess and we have variety. So, which is a
Amen.
great thing too, right? we have a lot and we have a lot of variety. We can have, we can change what we're having every day.
I mean, America, the biggest problem with America with food is that we value a good meal based off of quantity versus quality.
Yes.
Like you go to Asia, you go to Japan, I'm literally hungry after every dinner. I literally have to go and get something because it's small, but it's beautiful prepared. It's the best quality cuts of everything. But man, I'm like, I was not used to that. But that's a whole society based around thinking of like quality is so much better. And in fact, most countries are like that. America is like this backwards scenario of quantity is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have this excess, but I think we also have like a ton of variety, right? So you can mix it up and do crazy stuff and all the time. And so you kind of like get in this mindset of like, that's what I have to do all the time. I just thought that's how I felt about it, right? Like what do we have? What happened tonight? We're having Mexican. It's like, oh, we had Mexican yesterday. We should have Thai or we should have this or have that. You're always constantly changing. You can't, God forbid, you have the same thing 2 nights in a row. And then like there's places in the world that's what they do every day. That's what they eat. That's their staple. That's just what they eat. And doing this kind of taught me to go back to that. Have like simple meals. Like I literally will have a meal and it's just a steak and spinach. That's all I have. But it's the best steak and it's the best spinach because it's good quality and it's fantastic tasting.
Potatoes.
No taters.
Oh.
No carbohydrates.
So you've been talking a lot about here diet. I mean, exercise wasn't part of your routine?
I would say that if you need to lose, 10, 15, 20 pounds, exercise, go for it. Do it. If you need to lose more than 70, if you need to lose 100, maybe even more than 50, depending on your height and your BMI and stuff like that. But when you need to lose serious weight, don't exercise to start. All it does is make you hungrier, make you tired.
Your energy. You're
your
using
energy.
more of
You're
your
not going to be able to do
energy.
anything. And you're likely to hurt yourself, especially when your size I was. If I went out and worked out, it would kill me. I'd be down for a week. I just wouldn't be able to do anything. My body couldn't recover. So when you need to lose like hardcore, serious, like you're morbidly obese and you need to lose a lot of weight, diet first. Because 90% of your weight loss is diet. I mean, you can't outwork your diet.
Totally different mentality then, huh?
Yeah. You can't outwork a bad diet. It's simple. Unless you're an elite athlete, unless you're Usain Bolt who can eat 500 chicken nuggets and break a world record, you can't outwork your diet.
Fascinating, dude. I mean, honestly, the way you paint it makes it sound so simple, but ultimately everything comes down to an action, or in this case, inaction.
It's the hardest simple thing you'll ever do. It's the hardest simple thing to do.
Really, really hard.
I mean, you talk about the toolbox fallacy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
toolbox fallacy is whatever it is, whether it's weight loss or starting a YouTube channel, whatever that thing is you want to do, that level up thing. Rather than starting on it right now, you're like, I'll start as soon as I get this tool and this thing and that thing, and then I'll have everything I need to start, and then I'll start. But if you try to set it up that way, you'll never have it. You'll never have it, because as soon as you get the one tool, a new one came out that's even better. And as soon as you get these other ones, there's this other thing I didn't know I needed, so I have to go get that. And you've never actually started the project. And then if you do try to start the project, once you have all the tools, you don't know how to use them, because all of a sudden you have all these brand new tools you've never touched and never used. And that happens with dieting too. People are like, okay, I have to get this book and I have to buy this program and I have to I have to subscribe to this thing and I have to do this. Yep, I have to get my spandex and I have to join the gym. So by the time you get all that equipment, gym memberships, things like that, you don't know how to use it, or you're not using it right, and you're going to cause more problems than you're going to solve. So the best way to start, rather than waiting to get the new tools, just start today. Just like, what's the simplest thing I can do? For me, like the first thing I did as soon as I said I'm going to do this was I'm just going to cut out soda. That's very simple. I can do that.
Okay, I saw you had soda before we started recording. Explain that to me.
I'm gonna cut out. I didn't drink diet soda. I drank regular sugar, high fructose corn syrup sodas.
Isn't that still soda though?
It's still a soda, but it's 0 calories. It can spike your insulin. But
actually, diet it actually tricks your mind into thinking that you're not getting the sugars, so it makes you crave it even more. But if you have self-control and you don't go for it, then I guess
I didn't drink diet soda for over a year. I actually didn't like the taste of it, so I just cut it out and went straight water for like a year, and then I slowly introduced artificially sweetened drinks, stevia sweetened drinks, stuff like that, to get just so I'd have something. But the one I still do the most is a Bang. That's the Bang energy drink. I'm not sponsored. No one's sponsored by them.
Right. We're not sponsored.
That's like the
Bang.
keto. That's like the keto group thing. Everybody in keto just drinks Bang. If you join any keto group, they're all like, da da da, got my Bang. It's that, or it's like the bullet coffee one. It's a bunch of like crazy rednecks with assault rifles, but they make a bulletproof coffee or something like that, and they add salt to it instead of creamer because there's no sugar. So just do salt and fat into it. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't drink coffee, so I just do I do energy drink occasionally, and then I did have a Diet Coke today. I'm sorry, but no, yeah, the easiest one for me was cutting sugar, and that's why I started, right? So I didn't wait. I didn't try to have all the tools. I didn't wait and go get a gym membership and buy my outfit, my new Nikes, and all that kind of stuff. I just went straight to cut sugar. All right, now what's the next thing to do? Cut carbohydrate. Just do it. Honestly, yeah.
Wasn't wrong.
They weren't wrong. Just do it.
Best freaking slogan ever, man.
And then embrace the suck would be the next part. You gotta enjoy the pain. Is what that is to say. Like,
okay, that's all I wanted you to say, dude. I just wanted you to admit that you're Mr. Gray at the end of the day, right? 50 Shades of it.
Every time you get that deep craving where you want something, now you have to go, no, I'm winning right now. That's why this is happening. I'm winning. I'm beating the craving by not having it. I'm winning.
Wow.
You have no idea how many times I would open like the cupboard, like look at the food and just stare. Like, I've been good. I could have this right now and it won't hurt anything. But I was like, no. After like a couple minutes, just shut it and walk away.
Gotta embrace the suck. You gotta be able to.
I do that sometimes. When I'm on my diet, I have to I got this. No, I'm not hungry. So I'll drink water and, it's a battle between just you and
it's a battle between you and yourself.
That's it.
That little bad self inside your brain that just do it. You're good. You can have a little bit. Have it now. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to win today.
What I'm trying to figure out, right, because there, that particular point, that particular inflection point is where people break down, right? Everyone. That point where, like, should I eat the Cheeto or not eat the Cheeto? Right at that particular point. And so just saying don't eat it may hold you back once or twice or three times, but it's a perpetual thing that you'll have for the rest of your life. And at some point, you're going to slip and you're going to lose it. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but at some point, the dark side will get you kind of shit,
yes.
Right? That's what the Sith is hoping for.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
amen.
I would say I've given this advice to people because I definitely had days where I slipped, where I fell off, off the wagon kind of thing. And my best advice, don't beat yourself up, right? Because that's the path that leads to total darkness, right? You make a mistake, and then rather than just moving on past it, you go like, "Oh, I'm a piece of crap. That nothing matters. I'm just gonna eat this stuff now," and and you kind of, your old self-pity takes you down a bad path.
Right, right.
So, I would say the best thing you can do is pretend like it didn't happen. You just, all right, yesterday I messed up, but it's a new day. It didn't happen. I'm moving forward as if I'm not gonna like work extra hard today or anything like that. I'm just gonna back on the program.
Take an L and rebound fast.
Yeah, just like as if nothing happened, So that for me, that was the best advice that I gave myself because no one gave me that advice. That's what I just decided to do. I'm like, okay, yesterday happened. Yeah, that's yesterday. Today's today. Move forward.
Well, I think the big thing that happened for you here is that you had made a choice that there is a different lifestyle that you want to embrace ongoing.
Yeah.
I mean, the lifestyle choice aspect, I don't think it can be like overstated enough, right? I mean, it's one of those things where you just have to say, I can't fight eating chips every day. At some point, you just got to say, I ain't ever buying chips. Like, if it's not around your house, it's like, then you cut it out. Never again. That's it. You're just making a choice. It's not in my diet. Like, maybe, every now and then, like you said, you're at a theme park and you'll buy a bag of chips, or you're at work, you may have it. But it's like, you have to cut it out. You're making conscientious choice of, like, not just then chips, but, like, everything around you. Your life is, like, I guess, would you say, like, at this point, your life is literally completely different when it comes to exercise and diet and like what you do day to day?
Yeah. I used to be, I mean, when I became in charge of my own, this is like, before the weight loss, when I was in charge of my own diet as a young adult into adulthood, I couldn't wait for the next fast food meal, the next eating out thing. That's what I live for.
That's everyone. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Wendy's right now, honestly, through this
Okay,
whole
yeah.
conversation.
So
I don't know why.
why.
Pretzel
That's-
bread. They're pretzel bread, baby.
Oh, don't talk about bread.
So good.
I don't get to eat bread. No,
Wow.
that's the world that I was living in. And then when I changed over, it became, learning. I learned how to shop. That was a huge thing. I learned how to shop. Like how to, again, like I said, learning how to read labels. What do actual serving sizes mean? How many carbs, how many calories, how much fat, how much sodium does this thing actually have per servings? How many servings are in this container? Is this worth even buying? That's a big part for me. Like I learned with fast food.
So you learned to enjoy that then, huh?
Yeah. I learned. Yeah, I actually I've become a protein bar nerd. Like I have a friend of mine. She's a trainer at a gym. I should probably hire and go to the gym more with an actual trainer instead of by myself. But and we were chatting one day because I was in the aisle at the protein place and I was just like I was nerding out over the new flavor of protein bar one of the brands I buy had. I was just like, oh, they got this new one. I have to try it. And I was totally nerding out about it. So you have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to shop. You have to learn how to, buy the fresh groceries, fresh meat, fresh vegetables. Don't shop the products. Don't shop what the cereal boxes are and the potato chips and the bags of chips.
Well,
and
I'm going to say that you're learning how to shop. I'm just, you know what it is? It sounds to me like you're just applying the same level of passion that you had for the junk food before of like, oh my God, there's a 2-for-1 sale at McDonald's. Oh my God, this week they got gravy on.
Or something.
New fried chicken sandwich at Popeyes. Get in line for that shit and eat that all week long. It's the same passion. The only difference now is you are applying it towards the healthy version.
Yeah, I guess you got to shift your focus, and I shift my focus to that, to healthy eating, and that's the ticket too. Like I do go to the gym now and I work out, and eventually what I did introduce when we did talk about exercise earlier is I just started walking. That's the best thing you can do in the world is just start walking. And then you just go from there. And when you get a little more confident at walking, then you can add, a skip, or you can add some running or some jogging, and you can add some weightlifting and go from there. But when you're the size I was, it's just walking, because your body will let you know when it's ready. Like I would get to a point where it's like I just want to go for a walk. I need to go out. I have, I'm just pent up, losing weight.
You actually had the craving then to go.
I had
walk
the craving
the first
to go
time.
for a walk, and then eventually when I was walking, I was like, I get the craving. I want to run. Like my body wants to run. And I don't run. I've never run in my life, Like I don't want to. I'm floppy and flappy. I don't want to run, but I'd start running and it felt great, So your body will let you know.
It's almost like one little thing after another. In other words, you were talking about in the previous episode how your life was getting worse and worse as you were growing up because you just kind of accept like one thing worse after yourself, right? Gain one more extra weight, one more thing to be conscious of. One more thing to think about, like when you're around girls. One more thing to think about, like, oh, this doesn't fit, or like I'm wheezing because I'm walking upstairs. Yeah. And so it just progressively gets worse. In many ways, it's kind of like debt almost, right? The worse it gets, the worse you feel, the more you want to, like, it's a downward spiral. But an upward spiral is...
It's expensive being poor, right?
Right, exactly.
You know what they say? Yeah.
But you've been able to flip that and realize that leveling up is also a similar sort of cycle, which is a little bit more every day, makes you feel better, that makes you want to go on to the next thing to do, from like walking to then running to like having it as a lifestyle. And flipping it for you was some sort of psychological that happened literally one day, right? A YouTube meeting of all things.
I mean, I know there was more to it than that. I mean, it was a culmination of factors, but that was like the trigger point,
Trigger point, the difference between losing $1 every day into debt versus earning $1 and saving money.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it's very similar, because that's how I think about life, which is money, right? Business. So if I can think about like dieting like business, then there might be something here that other people think about. What else can they do that they can relate to, right?
And now all your losses will be gains.
Every loss then becomes a gain. Like, $1 gain, you don't realize it compounds, right? Like now it's $1.10 because of compound interest. And that $1.10 becomes $1 and like save, $2 in a year type of thing. And health is, I guess, a lot like that as well. Is kind of like what you're painting here, which is, if you feel a little bit better, you want to do a little bit more. And when you want to do a little bit more, you want to do a little bit more. It's a natural cycle towards moving you down a different lifestyle path.
As much as the vicious cycle is one way, coming out of it is also its own cycle.
Yeah.
You get a little bit lighter, your clothes fit a little bit better, you want to go out and do stuff, and when now your activity's gone up, so now you get a little bit lighter, you get a little bit thinner, you get a little more active, and it just kind of builds on itself.
Holy shit.
And the trick is
you
not
just
to
might
lose
be,
momentum.
You might just be coming across a revelation here, which we're going to talk about in the next episode, because I want to talk about like my journey and why I failed at weight loss. And I think you've uncovered for me why that's the case now. I think I can see it now. And but it does come down to, I mean, we could talk about diets all day long. We could talk about, keto or Atkins or whatever the latest flavor is. We could talk about, what's inspiration and what made you finally do it. But ultimately, to stick to anything is to realize that it is a cycle. Every day you get up and every day you go to bed. And what you decide to do in that cycle and that repeatedness determines either success or failure. And you've been able to figure out that formula of how to +1 your life every single day. And now, you can't live like what you were doing when you were losing the weight, right? You're even talking about like, I got to figure out how to now live to maintain my, like what I am versus lose it, which is a different thing.
I'm in a new world.
You're in a whole new world.
Yeah, my whole world before this was either gaining or losing, and now I'm learning how to stay.
You know what he just did, baby?
What?
First time ever.
What?
He just bought a sweet-looking, cool-looking leather jacket.
Nice.
Yeah,
Never
because
would have
now
bought
he
one
knows
before.
he can pick up the chicks.
You can never.
Because that's why you buy good-looking clothes for.
That's
That's
right. You envision yourself one day I'll be able to wear that. Leather
let's
jacket.
wrap up on that. Let's wrap up on that.
All right.
Have you? How's the dating life ever since losing weight? Or is the coronavirus fucking that up?
Yeah, exactly. That was my whole thing with my buddies and I talked about. It's like I finally get thin and the world shuts down. What the hell?
Oh my god.
So pretty much still the bottles of lotion still come in handy.
Let's just say, yeah, I'm playing a lot of pocket pinball, as it were. So no, yeah, it's still. I know it's funny because it's still a struggle. So now it's like now, so I get the swipes, right? I get them in the right direction now. That's nice. The problem is like it's like, but do we meet? That's the other side. It's like, well, because if she's willing to meet someone right now who she doesn't even know, how many other people she met that she doesn't even know? What viruses does she have? Not
That's
COVID,
right.
Oh
shoot.
I never even thought about that for dating. Like, if she's so willing to meet with you in a virus, like, what kind of a thing? Like,
what kind of other viruses?
what kind
does
of
she
a
have?
woman are you? Like, do you care about the world or not?
Right.
Yeah. So it's a struggle just because of the COVID. It's horrible. It's the worst. I think. The upside is,
you
right?
have to be careful because they're wearing masks. You can't really tell their beauty. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's even worse.
But the upside is too, right? Like this virus hits and it's killing fat people, and I'm not one of them anymore. So I got that going for me.
Good.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
that's
focus
true.
on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, at this point, you better make this YouTube career take off, right? I mean, come on now. That was the impetus. Let's go with something here.
Yeah, it saved my life once. Let's see if we can do it again.
All right, let's do this. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Larry. By the way, if you want more of his journey through weight loss and what he's doing and to like basically turn around his life, you have to check out his YouTube channel. It's called The No Breakfast Club.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to adhere to that.
Well, I
already,
can join to this. I normally don't
Freaking
eat
love
breakfast.
Or check out his Instagram, Nightly Nerds.
Yeah, at Nightly Nerds. That's my Instagram.
At Nightly Nerds. Wow, you don't eat breakfast and you are nerd during at night.
I'm a night owl.
All right, Larry, good chatting with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace.